that moves. enca.com.
Welcome back. Zackie, the Commissioner will correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm sure my figures are probably not entirely correct, but my understanding is that this year alone 9 policemen, or not people, have been killed in the Western Cape alone. There may be more, I don't know, but my figures were 9. I mean, that's an appalling assault on the state. So what's that telling us?
Well, I think that you have to link 2 things here. The first is the serious killing of police. The second is the nature of how the police are themselves. 115 police committed suicide, more than, almost double the number that were killed. About 2/3 the number that were killed. Now, on the other hand, you had 400 deaths in police custody. A significant number were suicides. Suicides that occur within a couple of hours or a day or 2. We know what happened with suicides under apartheid in the police. Similarly, the number of assaults by the police on people has increased so tremendously. Maybe that is because more are being recorded. But the fact is the Commissioner and the Chairperson will be able to say here that the police pay out at least 180 million rand a year to civil claims. And there's a huge backlog in civil claims.
I wanted to get
so
to that.
people worry about, when you see a policeman or a woman, you're scared.
Now they do, there's a huge payout every year. Taxpayers' money, your money, my money, people's watching money. Surely that as an oversight committee should be worrying you. How are you proposing to reduce that? It's a problem, a major problem.
Of course it worries us, and we have been asking SAP's management to analyse those payments.
And what have they told you?
They're busy with that process.
Why has it taken so long?
You can't do, I think one must also understand there's a contingent liability, which is part of what Zackie is speaking about. Because you get in claims which never materialize in the end. A lot of them. And that, I must be honest,
paying out a very lot of money.
Yes, absolutely. And what I'm saying is, let's look at what are we paying out for. Is it because of vehicle accidents where the police are involved? Which in itself is a problem, because it says about the approach when they're on the road, etc. Is it, and I believe it is, last time when we checked it was vehicle accidents that SAPs are involved in. Is it in stations that it happened? What is the root causes?
Well,
how do we address
there are
those
lots of
root
cases
causes?
of those. So the question
how
is,
do we address the
and
root
how
causes?
and what are you telling the Commissioner so I can get a response?
Well, the Commissioner is the manager. Surely you don't expect me to tell them how
I'd
they
like to
must
know
solve
that
their
Parliament's also
problem.
doing its job, because we
Of
pay
course
you
we
too.
are. We will.
Good. No, not will. You must. Let me turn to another issue, because Zackie Achmat started about efficiency and the right police force. I want to show you something. Again, you know it. Perhaps the audience who's watching this program doesn't, which was when the Minister of Police announced the results of an audit that found that 1,448 police officers had criminal records. And just look at it. A Major General, 10 brigadiers, 21 colonels, 43 lieutenant colonels, 306 had criminal records before being recruited, but much more significantly, 1132 gained their criminal records whilst they were on the police. That's an extraordinary figure, if you don't mind me saying so. Now, I know most of them would have been appointed before you became the Commissioner. I appreciate that. But what are you doing about it?
And I'll repeat that, to say a commitment by a committed management, by a committed executive. Calling for that investigation, going back to the 80s, tells you a story. That we are committed.
You didn't know about this?
I am saying to you, remember I'm 1.5 years there, and the minister called for this 2 years ago. And we have completed that audit.
But why?
Not only did we complete it, we came to the public and told them that we have done it. And we came to the public and told them that we are doing something about it.
But what are you, sorry,
how
yes?
did the Commissioner nearly appoint someone with criminal charges against them to become the Gauteng Provincial Commissioner? And why do we have General Mdluli? And why do we still have, how many people do we have on suspension for criminal offences in the police?
Zackie, you should remember that I'm running an organization of 200,000 people.
But certainly,
and you will always find those type of issues, and we deal with them.
But a provincial commissioner and a head of crime intelligence are certainly not the ordinary police officer at the police station.
1 Major General, 10 Brigadiers,
Can I
21
come in
Colonels. I
here?
mean, 43 Lieutenant Colonels. These are very senior officers.
Can I come in here?
Yes, you should be very concerned
no,
about this.
Of course I am concerned about it. You don't have to tell me to be concerned about it. The Commissioner can tell you when
Well, the
they...
question I only test that with what is it that you're doing
the,
about it?
The fact of the matter is we've said to them that we want to see this finalised. It is unacceptable for us that you do have police officers with criminal records within the service. First of all, it's a prerequisite that you can't have a criminal record in order to join the service. Surely that same requirement must remain there once you are in the service.
I agree.
So you should actually be dismissing yourself when you get a criminal record.
Well, they're not going to do that because they're crooks. They're not going to arrest them
No,
themselves.
No.
that's not what I'm saying either. I mean, I'm saying effectively you're dismissing yourself.
Oh,
when
I see
you
what you
do-
mean. Yes,
when
fair
you
enough.
get-
Fair
when you
enough.
get a criminal
How do you
record.
get them out?
And that
We
is
do get
what
them
we're
out.
saying. They're busy with that
see,
process.
yes.
We also said that we're not happy with the speed that this process is going, and we asked the National Commissioner that they must see to it that they
How?
jack
But
up that
Judge,
process.
Good point. So
but
how many of that
I
1,448?
have to answer you on this one.
Yes.
To say to you that, number one, you must credit us that we did this audit, we finished it, we announced it.
I
and
agree with
we
you.
are intervening. You would know as a lawyer that anything that happens in 1980, there are just so many things that the law would put before you and put impediments. But we've looked for intervention
How many of them
remedies.
are out now?
And this is why we have appointed boards of fitness in all the provinces, and they're currently working
How
on the
many-
1448.
Can I ask you this? Well, let me ask you this. If I re-interview you in 6 months' time,
Yes.
will these people be gone? All 1,448 of them?
You would, it's a significant number of, I've told you that the
Simple
boards are
question,
on.
will they all go?
But I can't say to you they will all be gone. You know legal processes.
Well,
you
if
postpone
I don't
cases,
think the
you
legal
do
process
certain
takes so
things.
long
Yeah.
if they've got criminal records. She's right.
No,
I
but
misunderstood
remember,
what you said. You're quite
remember,
right.
you are a judge. Fairness and justice must be applied to everyone. So the board will sit there and call each one of
Do
them
you-
and go through the processes.
All right.
I can't just come back, judge, in the morning
I
and
agree.
say you
I
are
accept
out.
that. But
Thank
I can
you
ask
for
one
agreeing.
one final question. Do you accept that when I, as an ordinary layperson, read that 1,448 police officers had criminal records for serious crimes, that this actually would have filled me with considerable consternation that when I go to my police station, I might be dealing with a serious criminal?
But remember those crimes, as you're saying, some of them are driver's licenses.
No, these are
cards,
serious
and-
crimes.
No, I'm just saying it's a mixture of crimes that are sitting in
Well,
there.
these were all
but,
serious,
But we
according to the
are
board.
dealing with all those issues.
Well, fair enough. I mean, you can't blame a new commissioner.
No,
for
you can
inheriting-
blame me. You're free to do so.
Sorry, I'm on your
You're
side
free
for
to
1
do so.
second. You don't, you know, take the gift.
Thank you.
Pleasure. The question I want to ask is, you can't blame the new commissioner for the fact that she inherited a mess.
No, one can't blame the new commissioner for inheriting a mess. Really, you cannot. And that's why Marikana was so tragic.
Yeah.
But it's also tragic how the commissioners responded to Marikana.
What's tragic?
Well, I'd
We
really
don't lead
prefer,
it.
you know, I assure you this, as soon as Judge Farlam has given his report, I'll have you all back and we can talk about that. But I can't. But Commissioner, the one point that I just wanted to go and ask you, I take it that this commission now, because the Constitutional Court has mandated it's going to go ahead, I take it that the police are going to embrace it and will deal with it accordingly.
First hearing is on the 11th of September, I think.
And surely this is going to be an opportunity for you
November,
to,
sorry.
in a sense, publicly justify much that you've spoken about here this evening.
Very sad, because the job that they are asking me to come and account for, I've already done my investigation, I have my report, I'm intervening, but I am a law-abiding citizen.
All right, well, that's very good to hear, given what we've been talking about this evening. But this is a very serious topic, and I think the Commissioner has, at least, if I can pay credit to you, come on here and held herself accountable to you, the public, who will have to assess the answers that she gave, also assess the criticism that Zackie Achmat has lodged, and the oversight that the Parliamentary Committee does. Because let's be honest about it, we all want a police force that ultimately is honest, efficient, accountable, and has complete integrity. I would want to suggest that the Commissioner did inherit a massive problem, and one cannot hold her responsible for everything. But what we can say is this: we need to know how progress is being made to the objective of the kind of police force we need. It's central to everything that's constitutional in our society. How far has that gone? How satisfied with you are the answers? Judge for yourself. Goodbye.
News that moves. ENCA.com.